So we take just a moment to help ourselves connect with our intention for the class today. And so just keep the breath flowing nice and deep, nice and full. So our intention today is this idea that we're pretty much at that time of the month of a new moon. And so it's a beautiful time to kind of reset ourselves, to kind of refocus on our hopes and our dreams for the future. It's almost like this is giving ourselves the permission to kind of start afresh again. A lot of times the new year is a huge new beginning for people with their goals and with their hopes and their dreams. So imagine that fresh start is kind of like what we're getting right here, right now. In this class, it's kind of a new beginning, a fresh start for us. And so that'll be the idea that comes into our mind. So just leave that idea in the back of the mind. As we move through class, maybe our intuition will give us a couple of little ideas of things that we can focus on for this coming cycle of the moon, for this coming month ahead of us. So with this idea to help lead us on, let's take our arms all the way to the back wall. And let's begin to let shoulders wiggle right and left. So nice to open up not only the shoulders, but also those ribs. Hoping to make it so ultimately our breath can flow a little bit more easily. Good, so maybe take it once more to each direction, left and right. And then when we're back through the center, bring your right knee into the chest and give that right knee a good hug. Sometimes as I'm there, I'm doing a couple of ankle rolls. Just let that foot be nice and loose, nice and comfortable. Any tension that's there, we're working it out. When you're ready, let that right leg reach all the way up to the sky. Gives it a good stretch for the hamstring. Your hands can grip on in whatever spot feels comfortable. And then here, think of pigeon pose if you're used to yoga classes. The idea is that this right foot is already getting pulled so far back. All we have to do is slide this right foot toward the left, and we're hooking it on that end of the fabric that's kind of by our ears. So all the way, hook that heel all the way past the end of it. Once you've hooked the heel, slide the shin in. This brings us into a nice hip opener. Yep. Sometimes those hips are like, woo, I'm so tight. Good, so just letting our breath flow, good things happen. It's us tuning in with our body, with our experience. And then we'll unhook that heel, let the leg get a stretch up to the sky, and then we'll drop it all the way down. Good. So you're there, second knee comes in, let's give it a hug. Maybe some ankle rolls for left foot. Leg up to sky when you're ready to start stretching out that hamstring. Yeah, check in with it. See how it's doing this morning. Another huge breath in. Then continuing to tug it in. We're crossing this heel all the way to that back right part, the part by the ear. Hook it. And then slide that shin in. Good, taking another huge breath in. Nice exhale. Free out this leg. We'll start to drop this leg down. Both feet can begin to kick free off of the front. We can grab onto the fabric with our hands to help us sit up. And then we're gonna head to a nice back bend. So let the fabric continue to fall toward the low back. And then grab back onto the back edge of the fabric. From that light grip, you start to head backwards. You can just head lightly with just the head going back. Or maybe you continue to slide down toward a little easy back bend, or maybe you go so far that you want to let go of hands or grab your feet. You've got options here. You get to choose how much your back wants to open today. This is our first inversion. So inversion means our head is below our heart. So different people can tolerate inversions to different degrees. So don't feel like this is a competition. You are absolutely welcome to come up sooner than others if needed, or do any other adjustments. Come up and down a few times if you're kind of practicing how it feels on the back, playing with different spots. When the fabric's at a slightly different spot, it'll feel very different in the body. And if you come up sooner than others, don't feel any pressure. You'll just kind of rest in this floating child pose. Soaking the elbows, let the head hang heavy. You can even rock any tension in the head out. There's several that are still upside down, so don't feel any rush. You can still go upside down again if you want to try. I like to give it enough time that people have an opportunity to really get those inversions if they need it. That's one of the big reasons people come to aerial a lot of times, is to get that chance to be upside down for at least a little while in the day. Good, so those that are still upside down, let's take our last couple of breaths, maybe our last 4 or 5 breaths. Those of us that are still hanging here upright already, just let your right ear go to your right shoulder, easing into some neck tension. And then left ear to left shoulder. Good, head back down. And we'll all start to head up. Beautiful. So we're gonna take a nice twist. I'm gonna use the terms front door and back door. That'll help us out to kind of orient ourselves. So bunch up the fabric that's toward the front door. When you're bunching up the fabric to that side, that right shoulder will get pulled back. So continue to open the right arm to that back wall. For you, it'll be the colored mountain wall. And then if you like it, you can even circle your hand around the back side of the head. Just help you twist all the way toward front door. So bunch up the fabric to that side. With both hands. Good. And then that back shoulder, we'll just circle the other one. Yeah. Good. Release this twist from this side. Let's take it to the other direction. Bunching up the fabric. And that shoulder that starts to twist toward the back wall, that arm opens. or continues to go all the way around the backside of the head. Yep, you guys got it. So let's take another good breath in and out. From here, choose to bunch both hands up on the side of the fabric that will face you toward me. So this half of the room just stay and just you two switch. Good. Lock your arms straight into the fabric. One of your hips got lifted up a little bit, so that leg needs to come all the way up and over so you're straddling with the fabric. Good. Once you're in, take both of your heels inside. Arms are welcome to grab on either at the calves or at the fabric to help push the legs wide. Try to keep the core engaged so you're lifting your spine up tall. Let's slide our right hand down our right leg, and then let the left hand also go up and over to that side. Good, rising up, switch it out. Left hand down left leg, right arm up and over. Try not to let the right leg be completely lazy. It might just want to come toward the midline. So instead, open it super wide. Good. Start to come back upright with our torso. Couple of breaths, bringing the bottoms of both feet together. This is a nice restful place. We can either rest the forehead forward or the back of the head backward. Let's give it a few good breaths. Okay, open the legs back out. And so from here, what we're going to do is a series of a couple of different poses that get us up towards standing. From standing, we're going to do some hip stretches and some hamstring stretches. So just take it with me one step at a time. Some of us, it will be right, and some of us, it will be left. And so what we're going to use is mirror side, which means toward the front of the room where I am, or back wall side, which means those mountains back there. So you'll just use that to help orient yourself. So the first thing is when we come up to stand inside, you can't readjust where the feet are. That'll kind of ruin where the foot positioning. So what I want you to do right now is make sure that you've got fabric completely covering your feet on both sides. So even if you are asymmetrical in how the fabric is, get the feet correct at least, even if you have to kind of bend the knees to get to that right foot placement. The feet are completely covered. Good. Okay, so from that feet covered position, the next step to start heading towards standing is sliding the feet in close to the glutes, but then the knees are popping outside of the fabric. That'll help us out a lot in a moment. So you'll use your thighs to help keep it captured past it. Good. So right here, yep, pop your knees out, you got it. Good. So from here, bunch of the fabric that's in front of you, and we're gonna come to a low squat. So what you do is you lift up just a little bit and your feet will start to slide underneath you. Your knees pop out even more. Good. We're all in that low squat position. So now reach your hands higher and then come all the way up to stand. Good. Yep, free out your head. Yep, free out your shoulder too. Woo, you got it. We're up. Okay, so from here, we're going to turn ourselves toward the mirror side to get into the splits. So the shoulder that's closer to the mirror, you're going to need to bring that shoulder back and then around. Good. So we're gripping on from the outside. So now we can head to the splits, one leg forward, one leg backward. Note that when we've got the armpit capturing on the outside, this does limit how deep we can go. So if you come here and you want more, you can readjust the grip to be on the inside, but this will be a lot deeper and it requires more arm strength. So you get to choose. We're going to be here just a couple more breaths, maybe 3 more good breath cycles in and out. One more deep inhale. Exhale, your back knee, you come to kneel on it. So drop it down, front leg is still straight. So what we're gonna do from here is shimmy the hips backwards. They kind of tend to get caught on the fabric. So shimmy backwards until you're sitting on your back foot. Your front leg is still straight. Good. We're almost there. Good. You just kind of shimmy your hips a couple of times. That'll get you past it. You got it. So front leg is straight. So now take your hands toward that front foot. And we're taking a really good deep stretch over that front leg. Good. We all made it. It's almost like a piston. Good. So we're gonna make our torso come back upright. We're still sitting on the back foot for just a little bit longer. Our front knee is going to bend. So this sends our toes to the hip. So yep, for you guys, it'll be to front door. For us on this half, it's gonna be toward the back door. So once you've got your front knee bent, circle the arms all the way around the fabric. You're grabbing your wrist from behind. And then once you've got that safe grip, you can lean forward. That grip to make sure that we won't fall out. Good. We'll start to release. So when we release our hands, bring the shoulders right back inside. Then we're heading into pigeon pose from here. So leave this bend to the front knee. We grip the hands up a little bit higher so that we can lift our hips up. And then once we've got this kind of funky bent knee position, just slide your front knee forward and your back leg backwards, go into pigeon. Good. The shoulder that's above that knee that's bent, that front knee, I usually will just leave that shoulder inside, so it's almost like a seatbelt across my chest as I lean forward. But you could choose other variations, like if you stay lifted up, this is more of a back bend, or if you do come all the way forward and out, that could be deeper. So your choice exactly where you go, but I tend to just like this spot right here. Just breathe into that hip. Good. Let's take one more good breath in. Nice exhale. To come out of this, we're going to rock ourselves onto our front hip. So your whole weight gets to sit on that. And then just swivel both legs open. We're back to that wide figure V shape where we started. Yeah, full circle. Good work. So use some of the strength of the arms to keep the legs in the stretch. Let's take 2 more good relaxing breaths right here. Beautiful. We'll start to prepare for the second side. So if your feet adjusted themselves at all, get your feet back to that perfect position, toes inside, feet inside. They're even. And then from here, we come to that low squat prep. So start to slide the heels in close to the glutes. The knees pop outside the fabric. Once you've got that, grip up high so that you can come to the low squat, knees coming all the way out. It's okay if you turn, it'll fix itself. Yeah. Pop your knees out, that'll help you a lot. Yep. It's okay, it'll stop in just a moment when you pop out. Good. Okay, so gripping up high, all the way up to stand. Good work, we made it. Okay, so this time we're going to the back wall. So the shoulder that's toward that back side, free it out so that you can face that direction. Good. Splits, so front leg forward, back leg back. Remember, if you want to go deeper, you can grip through the inside instead, but it'll take a little bit more arm strength. Keep our breath going, maybe 3 more cycles. After your third breath cycle, kneel on your back knee. Good. Front leg stays straight as we shimmy our hips back to sit on the back foot. Good. Once you're sitting on the back foot, you can just slide your hands forward to stretch across that front straight leg. Yeah, if the hips didn't quite make it, just come back up to shimmy it. Yeah, you got it. That was way better. I know sometimes it takes a moment or two to figure it out. That's okay. Good. Another good inhale. Exhale. Come to sit up with the torso. This is where this front leg starts to bend. We send that foot close to the hip. Once we've got it across like that, dive the arms through, give it a hug, clasp your wrist from behind. With that clasp, you can start to lean forward. This is almost like Gomukhasana pose, that cow face. Good, so let's take another huge inhale. Exhale, when our hands release, bring the shoulders back inside. We're heading to pigeon pose, so grip up high so that you can lift up to kneel on your back knee. And once you're back to kneeling, then just send the front knee forward and the back knee backward. So pigeon. Up and then send it forward, you got it. If you're freeing out one arm, it'll be the shoulder that's closer to the toes. Love the fabric for how supportive it is on the joints. So helpful, so restful. Good, so let's all take another huge inhale. Nice, relaxing exhale. And then to start coming out, you can bring the torso back up, rock onto your front hip, and then swivel the legs back open one more time, that wide finger V shape. Arms pressing open. Amazing work. Another good breath, refreshing our body, calming our heart rate. Beautiful. So here we're gonna start making our way back to face forward. So you're gonna free each of your feet out. Go back to that kind of straddling position. You're gonna bunch up the fabric. The leg that's toward the back wall, lift that leg up and over to face forward. Your hips will be off center, so just shift left, right, left, right, left, right until you're facing forward again. Good, we made it. So here we're gonna head to an awesome inversion. It's called vampire pose, a lot of people's favorite, yep. So those that have done many classes with me and you're familiar with vampire, just go into it, start playing with it, that's fine. I want you guys to watch first, those that are newer. So watch one round first, and then I'll repeat it, doing it with you. So then you kind of have a visualization and you're doing it with me. So the first thing that I'm doing is taking the fabric up by my shoulders on this back side. And I don't want too much. If I get too much, it's gonna push into my neck, be uncomfortable. So it's enough to make like a good cap sleeve. So complete covering for shoulders, and it's kind of going over the tops of the shoulders, but that's about it. So once I've got that, all the excess, I'm gathering with my elbows and pushing down to my waist, so that when I start to lay back, and sometimes if I don't grab it right at the center, I'll just restart again until it feels right. So now I've got a lot of extra fabric at my waist, that's perfect. I'm gonna step my feet in. I'm lifting my hips up so that when I straighten my legs out, it took all that excess down to my feet. So once I'm in this shape, all I have to do from here, just reach the hands up, lift the feet up. There's a little notch after your heel ends, so just push that outward, right into the spot that you're gathering with the fabric, push out. And by pushing out, I'm able to have control to rise upside down there. Okay, so I'll do it with you again. So we're sitting up here. You gather that fabric right across the tops of your shoulders. This is the thing holding you up, so you want it to completely wrap over the tops of the shoulders. Create a good solid covering. More. Right now it doesn't matter so much. You're just gathering it and putting it. Kind of like put it over your whole shoulder too, so that I can kind of, yeah, kind of like a shawl, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But not in the neck, because you'll feel it.
Yeah, you'll feel it. And sometimes it's nice to feel it so that you can be like, okay, that's too much, but yep, all of you look pretty good. So a good safe layer, and then your elbows are pushing everything down, and you'll start to lay back.
My fellow buddy.
Good. Okay, so from laying back, now step your heels in. Remember that before you straighten the legs out, you need to lift your hips up and then straighten it out. So that way all that excess is brought down. Okay, just keep on adjusting if it doesn't feel quite right. It's all the time you need. It's okay if you even just get the upper part right, and then you can adjust more. Yeah. Your head should be dangling out. You've got all the excess toward your feet. So once you're there, good. Yeah, just keep on bringing the feet down if you're still not quite there. It looks like you're ready, so then grab your hands up high, feet come up, and then push out. It's the pushing out that gives you that control. It's not a heel hook, it's just the strength of the leg pushing out.
Yep.
So from that push, you can start to rise. Good. And if it feels like your shoulders aren't completely covered, come back for a moment and then just recover, fix it up, and then you can come back into it.
That's a lot of strength.
It is. It's core strength for sure.
Trust yourself. You're okay.
Yeah, and sometimes at the beginning, that's all it is just practicing going up and down to build up that core strength. So there's nothing wrong with that.
You got to trust yourself too now.
So, and your feet need to go a little bit further back. Yes, where you were just a moment ago. So even you're kind of going inside the fabric.
There you go. You got it, Melanie. You got it. Look at you. Doesn't that feel great?
Little sauce. How are we feeling over here? You look good. The fabric looks good. It does, yeah. It might be a little bit much, but go ahead and try it now. It'll be extra safe. Good. and then feet come up. They can be inside or outside the fabric, yeah. Feet, good, one, and then the other. Good, that looks good. And then push out to rise up. That's it. You can even look higher if you feel good. Yeah, I like this here. So you kind of had your feet trapped inside. So what you did was bring the feet to the middle and then you pushed out. What I do is I bring it all the way, like my hands are gathering up some of the fabric, so that's what I'm pushing it.
Oh,
yeah.
got it. Got it.
Yeah, so that'll help it feel like you have a little bit more control.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
put your feet up.
It looks like it's right from here, yeah. So I'm just, my hands gathered up some of the fabric, and so I'm pushing out to go up. Yeah. You bring your shoulder back inside though, you just popped your arm free. Yeah, keep it inside. That'll be what keeps you. Yeah, because literally the only thing holding you up is what's on your shoulders. So if you don't have enough on your shoulders, see, that's what you're feeling. Yeah. You got it. Good. And don't feel like this is a competition again. This is an inversion. So just like before, you just listen to how long your body is happy with it. And then when you're ready to come out, you're welcome to bring your head back inside and just make it a restful rip. Just back to that Shavasana basic. I do too. Isn't it the best thing ever? If any of you are interested, at 10:30 today, I have a floating yoga nidra meditation. So literally you just get to lay in a hammock and be guided through an hour-long meditation. So it's awesome. Oh, maybe another month you'll make it. That one's one I do every month. So
this is the only Saturday I have to.
Oh shoot, yeah, you'll catch it next month then, for sure. It's so relaxing because literally you just get to lay here and just rest. Good. So we're getting to that point where most people are about happy, we're about out. So if you're still upside down, go ahead and start getting your way out. Those that are out, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're safe before you move on. So lay down as long as you need for that blood pressure to get back to normal. Only when you feel like, okay, I'm feeling normal, I feel like I can move on, then you'll let me know by starting to sit up. But don't feel any pressure, any rush. It takes a while for the body to get used to inverting, so don't feel like, oh, I have to just pop right up and go. Like, you can take your time that you need. If you come out before others, do that same floating child pose, just let the neck be heavy. Good. If you still need another moment or two, that's fine. If you feel like you're good to come out, the way that we come out is bunch up the fabric and then lift the hips up and out. That's a little bit safer than trying to just kind of face dive forward, because there is that slight chance that your feet won't find the ground and you might trip. And so that grip to lift up and out, that's that safe way to get in there. So from here, what I want us to do is take the fabric right under the shoulder blades. Once you've got it under the shoulder blades, walk back so that all the slack is out. Good, and then what we're gonna do is head our way toward a seated position, kind of. It looks like that. So I'm walking forward and bending my knees till it looks like I'm kind of in a chair here. Good. So my goal once I'm here, kind of release all the abdominal muscles so that your back gets another chance to just get pulled long. I like to have a nice 90-degree angle so you can walk forward, yeah. So let's do just a hair of strengthening here. So right leg extends out. Let's try to lift that right straight leg up and down. We're gonna go for 5, up and down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Try to catch the leg. Sometimes it's more like the thigh, and that's okay. Good. And then as you release, take that right ankle to left thigh, and then letting this right hip rotate open, it helps to relax deeper into that hip stretch. Good. Release this right foot to the ground, left leg out. We're gonna go up and down. And by the way, if you feel like your blood's getting cut off, come back for a moment, readjust a little bit lower and come back into it, so don't feel like any pressure here. But when you're in a good spot again, left leg out. We're gonna lift up and down. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, try to catch. Good. A moment with the stretch. And ankle to thigh, relax, open. Good. Release. Both feet toward the ground. We're twisting both knees to front door side. Spinal twist. And then up. Rotate back. And up. Separate the feet super, super wide. And then we're shifting our weight toward front door. Let the other leg be straight. Good. Shift it around. Second side. When we're back through the center, what we're going to do to shift out is grip up high. Let the legs work their way a bit straighter toward the front. And with that grip, you're trying to slowly lower down to the ground. Good. So from here, we're going to continue to circle our hands around with nice little clasps and try to keep your spine straight as you lean forward. If the straightening of the spine is totally not working today, what you'll do instead is just grip high to help you sit up. Kind of like a cactus, yep. Good. And then we're coming upright. Let's swing both legs around. We're coming up to sit, or to kneel, sorry. Free out your hands for a moment. And we're gonna take puppy pose. So grip back through the inside. Arms are about as wide as shoulders. Leave the hips over the knees, but the rest of the body gets to go forward. And see if you can even drop your heart down. Really good heart opener. Arms straight is deeper for the shoulders. Elbows bent is a little easier, so you get to choose. And let the hips go all the way to the heels. Purposely round the spine back. So it's giving it like a good counter stretch. Good. And then sitting up, come back up to kneel. We're stepping our right foot forward, and then tuck your back toes to lift that back knee. We're in a really good lunge. Good. So keep some pressure into the fabric. What we're going to try to do 5 times is shift our weight forward and lift the back knee up. So you're keeping that fabric, your pressure into the fabric to help you balance. And then you'll step it back. Good. So that was 1. Here's 4. And 3. 2. 1. Good. Rotate on your heels. I'm going to be facing opposite direction of you, but rotate on your heels. Toes are facing the long edge of your mat. And then just continue to relax to that long side. Good. Begin to turn back forward with the toes. We're still leaning over the front leg. It's like a pyramid pose, straight leg. Good. Torso up. Switch the feet out. So back foot forward, front foot back. Take about that same stance. Go to the bend shape first. So front knee bends, back leg is trying to straighten. Got some pressure in the fabric. We're gonna go forward for 5 and back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Land back. And as we straighten the legs, turn the toes to the long edge and lean halfway forward. Good. Rotate back on the heels to face forward, but this time the legs are straight. Pyramid pose, leaning forward. Good, and then rising up, step your feet together. We're taking the fabric across the front of the hips. If it feels like it's getting in your belly, you can rise up to the tippy toes to make sure it's right on the bones. It's much more uncomfortable if it's on the belly. So right across bones. From there, take a step or two forward to take any slack out. And then begin to bend at the waist until you can drop your hands down. Once you're there, walk your feet 2 or 3 steps backwards until your hips are under that plumb line, which means that your feet don't want to move if you step them up and down, like to take another step. So from here, downward facing dog, push the hands and the feet into the ground. The hips are lifting the highest spot they've ever lifted. Good. If the massage that we're getting across the hips is not too intense today, there is an inversion you can do here, lifting the toes up and then hugging the shins. How the hip hang. You can always drop your hands down when it gets to be too intense. Good, and if you love that hip hang, you're welcome to stay a bit longer. I'll guide through another cool pose here called the standing split. So this would go through that downward facing dog again. What we would need to do is catch our right foot on the outside of the fabric. So rather than just lifting it to catch, I'm going wide first. So I kick the leg wide, and then lifting up, I catch the fabric so that it's on the outside of the fabric. Body weight to the inside. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes it takes a moment, but that's okay. When you've got that leg up, try to find the other foot on the floor, and then the leg that's captured, try to straighten it up. Good, you're pushing into your arms to help get you closer to that thigh. You got it. You're like so close, you're right there. Yeah. And just turn your toes to hip it. Kind of lift. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, give me it. No. Nope. Good. Go ahead and slide down. We'll try out the second side. If you need just a little break, that's okay. But when you're ready, left catches outward. When you've got it captured, slide it up. Good stretch. You can always try it, it's all good. Some poses are easier than others in aerial, so don't feel like you have to necessarily. Good, if you captured it, we'll take one more good breath. And start to release. As we're coming out, you want to walk yourself up to the top of the mat. Find your feet on the floor, and then just roll yourself up nice and slow. Our head will still need a little bit of time, so as soon as your head is up, flip the fabric behind you and just lean back into the fabric. This will give your head a little break. Good. So watching out for anybody who's kind of close by you But one of my favorite things to do here, bringing the feet just a little bit wider, I'll bend one knee and just kind of lean myself to that side. And I'll straighten that leg, bend the other knee. Just watch out for those next to you. And this is another moment where if you need more time, just stay. If you feel like you're good to go, you'll come up by just walking backwards until you're standing up on your own. Then you can free yourself out. Good. So we've been focusing a lot on hips and hamstrings today. Let's take one more good hamstring stretch and then we'll get some time just to relax back in our Shavasana. So this is the splits. We're gonna take our right heel inside. I usually like to grip up nice and high. And then from there, I'll transfer my weight forward toward the splits, just experiencing that really good stretch. If splits, like you're nowhere near splits, hop a little bit closer. That'll help you feel like you have more control. Yeah. If you're nowhere near splits and you just want to slide your hands down to bring your heart closer to the thigh, that's another option you can just do. Wouldn't even need to go forward for that. You hop closer too. That'll make you feel a lot more in control. Yeah. Good. Yeah, if you're too far behind the plumb line, it's not very, very controlled. Yeah. Okay. Coming back up. Two ways to switch. You can either just step this foot out, step the other foot in, or a swinging switch. You grip up high. The big thing is I need to leave the leg straight. Otherwise, it'll slip and it'll turn into a swing. So leaving the leg straight, I step the other foot in and the first foot out. Kind of fun, yeah, look at us. Either way, we ended up with left leg. So then you got the same options, maybe just sliding down to stretch or gripping up high and taking that split. That's it, amazing. It's all good. The body will start to get more awareness the more you keep on coming back. It's like this first time you're like, I have no clue I'm doing this. The body eventually will start to just get there, so. Yeah, that too, for sure. Okay. Yeah, higher grip is also easier for balance, yeah. Okay, so when we've stretched that side about equal, let's step out. And you're welcome to just head into your Shavasana. So same as at the beginning, come up to this side of that by the mirrors, face it. You're grabbing the fabric, waving it out. Make sure you grab the end because sometimes it tricks you and it kind of folds over first. Yeah. So once you have the end, wave it out, turn around, hook your thumbs. About 5 huge grips, but I have big hands, so if you need 6 or 7 instead, that's okay. It ends up about half that fabric. And so then once you've got those grips, you back up under the metal piece of that line, up to tippy toes, slide it under the glutes, and then head back to your beautiful Shavasana. You just get to relax for the last couple of minutes of class. And always look too, if ever you feel like you're ungrounded and you prefer to do a Shavasana laying on the ground, that's always an option just in case you ever have, I don't know, a more dizzy day or anything. You can always find the floor instead. But otherwise, I love to be back in the fabric, just relaxing through all my muscles after I've worked it and stretched it. So when you make yourself comfortable back inside, all you have to do here is just let your breath flow for a few minutes. Yep, just good deep inhales, relaxing exhales. So here we'll begin to deepen our inhales and our exhales. Introduce little movements back to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Sometimes here I'll stretch my arms all the way to the back wall, let the shoulders go right and left. Other days I like to do a nice fetal position. So you keep the body long, but you roll over onto one side body. So one hip is stacked on top of the other hip. And then once you're there, your body's long. What you'll do is curl in like a tight little ball, and then you'll arc your spine back. So I'll usually take that 3 or 4 times to one side, and 3 or 4 times to the other side, just helping to balance out my spine. When you've balanced out your spine, you'll start to work your way up toward a comfortable seated place. So working your way back up, kick the feet free. Good. So bringing our hands together in front of the heart, we take a moment to connect back to our intention one more time. So this was that idea of that new moon being that invitation for us to find a whole new meaning for this coming month for ourselves. And so we gather any intuitive insights that we gained as we are moving and stretching through our hips and our hamstrings today. And if there's any commitments we have for ourselves over this next month, we promise to keep that commitment for ourselves. And so with these ideas to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Taking a deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste. Namaste.